Hello guys, this is Realist Lens, and in this video I will be exposing Steven Crowder's hypocrisy when it comes to him being pro-life but anti-vegan. So this is going to be a really quick video, so I hope you guys focus, and I will show you exactly how he will use manipulative arguments to make abortion seem immoral, but then use those same arguments that the woman makes when it comes to justifying the act he does of eating meat. So first let me show you that he's against veganism.
And then just a huge realm of information was then open to me. There were all kinds of things I could explore. But it was a very... Go ahead.
I would just say it's crazy because, listen, it's no secret with people listening here, whether online or terrestrially, that I have a passionate disdain for veganism, but sometimes for different reasons. I mean, let's be clear here. You were a little bit nervous about coming on the show because obviously I'm one of those right-wing.
Okay, so Steven Crowder has a passionate disdain for veganism. Okay, now that he's clarified that, let's look at his arguments for being a pro-lifer.
So when would it be okay, I guess, to put limitations, let's say, on abortion?
Limitations.
When is it okay? Because we've acknowledged viability is not consistent, but you're okay with it anyway. You're the only one who's valuing the rights of one being over another being, the mother.
Okay, so on that point, Steven Crowder is also the one who values the life for one being over another being. He values his and human life over the lives of cows and chickens and fish and pigs. So he does this himself.
Mother over a child, because you're the one who's actually proactively terminating a life, and you're okay with that. I'm simply saying no one has the right to terminate another life, just like you don't have. It's the non-aggression principle.
But Steven Crowder thinks he does have a right to terminate the lives of farm animals.
You don't have the right to hurt me, I don't have the right to hurt you. I'm saying that person doesn't have the right to hurt that baby. You're saying it does. So you're saying her rights supersede that of the other life.
Yep, so Steven Crowder thinks that his right to enjoy meat supersedes the right for a cow or chicken to exist as well. So he's doing what the woman is doing in this case, in terms of he's sort of like being the woman the woman in this argument when it comes to veganism.
Living, growing inside of her. So at what point is that okay or not okay, I guess, is where it comes down to.
It's dangerous to put any kind of limitations or controls around that, because she in the end is the one responsible for that and those circumstances, and I don't think that it's entirely fair to judge them without being in her shoes. I'm not sure what people felt about the decision that I made, but
that doesn't change the essence of what is moral, what is a life. It's like saying, well, listen, I'm against slavery, I think it's bad, but if someone else makes that decision, I have no right to judge their right to choose slavery, because at one point that was considered okay.
Okay, so Stephen's point about if something is socially acceptable doesn't mean that it's morally okay. So by his own logic, then just because we currently farm animals and eat them, it should not be considered morally okay. But Steven Crowder does it anyway, so what's his justification for being pro-life but anti-vegan?
It doesn't matter what our opinion is if that's a life. And that's why it's the only question, I would say, that really needs to be answered before we have any other discussion.
So, the moment of conception, that's...
Okay, so I'm going to stop the video there because that's when it gets to the specifics of abortion. But I'm going to tell you guys right now that the only way Steven Crowder can morally justify eating meat but being pro-life is that he values human life over the life of animals which are not human, and he's got to have some high moral valuability of human life, but have no moral value of animals. So he's got to be against the moral value of animals in order for him to justify morally eating meat. But if he morally does not agree that, if he doesn't agree that animals have moral value, if he goes down the arbitrary line of humans are the only ones who have moral value, if he draws that arbitrary line, then he's also got to be okay with us killing and beating up and just chopping the legs and hands off of cats and dogs and cows or anything, because what's the distinguishing factor then? If he's okay with animals not having moral value, then what distinguishes humans from these animals? Then by that very logic, he should be okay with us just freaking abusing animals as well, because they're not humans, are they? He's drawn an arbitrary line, but I'm sure he's not okay with that. And if he's not okay with that, then he's being a hypocrite, and therefore him being pro-life and anti-vegan, he's being a hypocrite by not also being a vegan as well as pro-life. So at the end of the day, I don't have an issue with his stance on abortion. It's not as if I'm pro-choice or I'm okay with babies being killed up to 8 months after conception. It's not that at all. But I think that if you're going to use these arguments, you better be ready to take some criticism if you're being a hypocrite about other issues such as veganism. So if you guys agree with me, drop a like, subscribe, and share this with Steven Crowder. And if you disagree, comment your disagreement, and peace out.